Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to take another look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on, of course. And I apologize, excuse me, once more for yesterday and being unavailable to help out with some analysis there, of course, based on the way that I felt. It just didn't make any sense. I'm still not feeling great today, but I'll try to power through and we'll see if I can, keep my voice intact during this entire conversation. All right, so let's see what's happening here. First of all, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I love to teach people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today, of course. If you do end up learning something, obviously, feel free to comment below, let me know. I'd like to hear your feedback. You want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a website. Link in the description below. I offer a trading academy, community, and signal group. Got a lot of new members coming over here recently, which is impressive based on the state of the market. So I like to see that because it shows that if you can improve and do well in a bear market, bull markets are going to be so much easier for you. So that's really awesome stuff there. Thank you again to my current community members. So taking a look here at Bitcoin, I'll start with the obvious. Well, yesterday, big surprise, price got rejected and came down a good 7.5%. Is that it? Only 7.5? I guess I missed I didn't miss very much, did I? It's a normal day for Bitcoin lately. But what we can see, of course, is that 7.5% correction pushes right back down to 30 on the RSI. So hypothetically, the price action could bounce off that level, which it kind of already has today. It's not much. I think it's maybe only 1%, but the price action is recovering, so to speak, after a wick all the way down to 18,500. So 18.5, according to Fibonacci here, is a key level support. Furthermore, 18,000, and then of course 17,100, which would be effectively lower than the most recent low that we've experienced in the last couple of years, right? So it's effectively the lowest point. So right now, 18,500 is effectively the lowest point in which we see the price in the recent past. Take a look at the MACD, of course. This natural, what feels like should have been a natural MACD convergence didn't occur. It essentially got rejected and continued lower. So again, that's why you wait for the MACD to actually converge fully before you decide to take an entry. It's commonly the way that it goes. But with the price action kind of coming down here, you can kind of see this this type of wedge pattern. It's easier to identify on smaller time frames, whereas the break to the downside makes sense. But again, it's like one of those things where 19,800 was holding as a very strong support level. So we had to expect it to hold until it didn't. All right, now that it hasn't, it's continuing its bearish trend, and we got to kind of reevaluate. All right, so let's take a look at the 4 hour, kind of see what's going on here. Of course, you can see the price action getting rejected at the 50, and the 20 essentially is moving down concurrent with the descending trend. So all well and good there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the, okay, yeah, so we can kind of see here that we got a pretty significant divergence here. It is losing momentum, which is nice, of course, because just how strong of a push down it was. It's kind of telling us that the bulls might actually be able to take control for the next 12 to 24 hours. There's a possibility of that, but I wouldn't expect amazing things because once again, traditional markets, even though they're up by 1%, dollar index is kind of almost drawing dead and fairly even today. Okay, so again, one of those situations where it's not like it's fantastic, but it's also kind of par for the course, right? So again, traditional markets are up by 1%. Bitcoin's only up by 0.5%, so to speak. That needs to change. But we got to recognize too that Bitcoin, of course, is absolutely reliant on the traditional markets. So just keep that in mind. We need the traditional markets to do well for another couple of days, and not just for one day. Right? That consistency is key, and we don't quite have that just yet. But this was an absolute greed candlestick here, and unfortunately, it's kind of the way that the ball bounces in cryptocurrency. You kind of got to expect it. It's just kind of par for the course. So taking a look at the hourly, let's go ahead and clarify a couple things here. On the cloud, we are free and clear of any price action here, but tentatively going to want to close our short position. So hypothetically, a long position would be more viable than a short position right now, just based on the simple fact that this is telling us it wants to go ahead and intersect. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue to shoot up. It just means that if the price action comes into play here, for example, then you'd want to have taken some profits from your short position. Okay, that's essentially what it's telling you. That window of opportunity is closing. But there's no doubt that the conversion line is well below the baseline and we're way below the cloud. So essentially, if you're going to take a long position, you might want to be cautious and careful, and make sure that it has really tight take profit targets. And it would need to be very, very close. So just be cautious and careful in that sense. But take a look at this here. We came all the way down to a 9 on TD sequential, and of course, extreme overtime down further to 18.5. So we hit about 18,650, and then it continued to push even further for another 5 to 7 hours. So right now we're starting to see that little recovery, but it's really not that much. So in other words, even though the price action may likely increase from here, it may not go significant. I mean, Bitcoin's been in this common practice of just getting stuck in a sucky situation and then dumping, right? So hypothetically, we could get stuck here and it could dump further. So you want to be prepared for that and ready for it. So again, if you're going to take a position, make sure it's it's fairly tight with the profit targets, and just make sure that you're being safe and using good risk management. And what I mean by that is, as a community member here, just essentially what we do in our community is, for right now in the bearish type of situations, we're using trailing stop losses and we're using small position sizes to ensure that the price doesn't get filled. We can still sustain and maintain a healthy trading lifestyle based on the simple fact that we're not getting stopped out, and of course we're not hitting our 100% leverage over trade, so to speak, right? So again, in that sense, all well and good. If you have a position open from recent, which I still do as well, it will fill eventually, because again, this downtrend cannot continue forever. So I mean, even though it's definitely not looking fantastic, we can absolutely break through this. I do feel as if we will see much better months moving forward here. October, November, and December are notoriously green months for traditional markets and Bitcoin, right? And September is almost always a red month. Big surprise, we're seeing a red month here so far, and it will likely continue until we either retest the support level there, about 17,600, or possibly even lower. We got to be prepared for that. So it'll probably get worse before it gets better, but this month is kind of just doing what it normally does, and it's very standard behavior, okay? So again, that's kind of where we're at there in that sense. So all in all, hopefully this makes sense for you and gave you some more perspective. I do, again, appreciate your support and more so your patience too. Again, sorry for not making any videos yesterday. We'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, and hope you have a great rest of your day. You take care. We'll see you later. Thanks so much.